Want to know what titles we're grabbing and we recommend keeping an eye out for? Just tune in and we'll talk about new comics coming out this Wednesday. Hello everyone and welcome to Married with Comics. I'm your host Laura and this is my favorite co-host, my husband Scott. So we of course are here to talk about the latest comic books, but before we do, I wanted to give a quick announcement about our 500 subscriber giveaway. Please make sure to subscribe, comment, like, share. If you want details on how to qualify for this amazing comic book that is remarked and signed, pay attention after the credits. I did also have one other little announcement. So Kevin, who is amazing, has donated some additional giveaways because apparently getting Spider-Man isn't enough. So I haven't quite figured out exactly what time frame, so whether I'm going to do like 250 subscribers, I know that's going to be one of them, and then I have other giveaways for other points, but I don't want to just go by subscriber numbers, so we got some ideas, but we have some great giveaways, so please keep tuning in, subscribe, we have some great stuff in store. Now, today's new comic book list, I am so excited for this week. Yes, insanely. It is enigmatic. I cannot help it because this week we have Geiger and Nocterra. And originally, Geiger and Nocterra were like my go-to. I had to read as soon as they were released, along with the Joker. But Joker's not coming out this week, sadly. So, Geiger and Nocterra. But then we get more this week. Nice House on the Lake. I can't recommend this title more. If you have not read issue number 1, try and find it. I'm sure there's a second printing coming out at some point. James Tynion IV created such an amazing storyline that at the end, you're just left wanting a whole lot more. So hopefully we get some more answers, some more dark and twisty twists. Issue number 2. But wait, there's more. Wondergirl, issue number 2, Joelle Jones's amazing series comes out. We finally get sort of the other part of the story. So in issue number 1, Wondergirl went to Brazil, and all we know is that that was like the one thing that everyone wanted to avoid. So it has happened. We don't know why this is a horrible thing, but we're going to find out. And from all of your comments, it sounds like there's going to be some really, really cool like interlacing of some Brazilian mythology, which is going to be awesome along with the Themyscira. Oh, I can't wait. So those are like my main 4. If you are not reading those 4 series, you're missing out. I totally understand if you're grabbing the trade, but just make sure to read those series at some point because so far they are amazing.
Yeah, really good. So I've got my must-have list this week. First of all, there's Amazing Spider-Man number 70. So if you think that, King's Ransom and Chameleon Conspiracy were kind of like taking Peter Parker's life and throwing it in the laundry and putting it on spin cycle, apparently that wasn't enough. So this is Prelude to Sinister War. If you've been following along at all, it's been a good read. And we get a Peach, and is it Momoko?
Momoko.
Okay, Peachmomoko variant cover for this one, which is gorgeous, of the Green Goblin. So another one on my pull list, my must-haves this week, is Batman issue number 110. If you've been following along with that one as well, there's some stuff that's kind of going to come to a head, culmination points, but there's some, as always, new things that are getting started and spun off. I also have been a big Bettie Page fan. Some of you know that, some of you may not. But anyhow, Bettie Page, Curse of the Banshee, new limited run series has been out. I've had issue 1. Issue 2 drops this week. Can't wait. So you take Bettie Page, you take Ireland, you combine some Celtic mythology in there, and yeah, that's a good recipe to lure me in. Probably Red Sonja, Black, White, and Red, because some of you that watched the video last week saw I had purchased Wonder Woman Black and Gold.
Yeah.
I hadn't really been grabbing those titles before because, for lack of a better word, just ignorance. Like I always just kind of looked at the cover and was like, and then kept going. However, I finally was flipping through one and I saw the difference that it makes in the panels when you have limited color palette and how much you could really still convey with just a few colors, and I was sold. So I saw Red Sonja coming out, Black, White, and Red. Put that one down on my must-have list. And that's it for my must-haves really this week.
So I'm grabbing it because I'm curious. Ordinary Gods issue number 1 is coming out this week. I've heard a lot of hype about it. Could be Kyle Higgins is the one who writes it, and he's the same author who did Radiant Black that everyone's been raving about. And he's also coming to Comic-Con here in Raleigh.
He's going to be
at GalaxyCon.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know what? Let me grab issue number 1. I'll get him to sign it. Oh, darn. But I also want to read it. It basically sounds like your typical, you have, I think it's 5 gods that are constantly reincarnated.
Pantheons. Yeah.
So now they are ordinary people who are then recalling their godly history and then become gods. So it could be really cool, or it could just be a really cool concept that needs a bit more fleshing out. That's why I'm like, let me see.
Yeah, but you're fans of his writing, so
I am.
I have a feeling it's going on the cool side for sure.
Sleigh bells ring.
Yeah.
So,
are you bleeding?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is a Bad Idea Comics issue series that, like, I saw the concept and I'm like, all right, I'm in. So it is Rudolph has been killed, and Santa goes on a murderous rampage.
Don't mess with my reindeer.
Exactly. So thus the name Sleigh Bells.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes that's a bad idea.
Spelled SLAY.
Yeah.
For those of you that haven't seen it in print yet, just so you know. Yeah. Okay.
So Bad Idea Comics has been a bit of a hit and miss for me. So the last series that they released was amazing. The series before it was kind of a miss. So I'm like, let's see what we get.
Yeah, so if you're done with your curiosity list, I have some. My curiosity was piqued tremendously by Sensational Wonderwoman, okay, number 5. I'll be honest, I have not read the previous, but the synopsis on this one drew me in. So it's basically a 98-year-old like retirement home, nursing home resident escapes. Don't know what happens, wanders off, or just literally escapes. But while the staff are frantically hunting and searching for her, she starts recounting her memories of having met and hung out with Wonder Woman during World War II. And I was like, really cool. Multiple reasons I'm interested in that. Dealing with, grandparents with dementia and so forth myself. And also just kind of that era, being raised by my grandparents. And then you throw in Wonder Woman, who's, one of my favorite characters as well. Yeah, so I'm down for that one. Can't wait to see. Curiosity on Suicide Squad number 5. So I have been following the new Suicide Squad series. I know the movie's coming out. Beyond that, though, some of the writing in it's kind of, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's different than some of the previous series writing. Not going to make a judgment call on it at this point. It's not won me over, though, yet. So that one's in my curious pile, as in I wonder what's going to happen, because there's some stuff coming up that they could do that would really pull me back in, but it also could be a big, huge, like, oh, get on with it. My last curiosity pick, and it's not really a curiosity pick, it's another one that I'm probably going to get in the shop, but I don't have on my subscription list. Let's put it that way. It's not on my pull list yet, is X-Men number 1. So first of all, if you want a variant cover, I don't know, pick between 33, 36, however many there are. Literally, if I read the list of variant cover artists to you, we'd be here for quite a while. But that being said, I mean, they're cool. I'm not knocking them at all. It's awesome. I love it when they do that, but it's almost like you gave me too many choices. I just want them all, which is why it's on my curious list, not my pull list, because I'd have a stack, like a Laura-sized stack.
I don't know
when
what he's
I came
talking
home
about.
from the local comic shop this week.
No clue what he's talking about.
But the story itself also is taking place after some stuff that I'm currently in the middle of reading, which is another reason why it's not on my pull list. I think that it's going to be awesome. I know kind of where I think the story is going to go. And even if they surprised me, the writing on it so far has been excellent. So that's my curiosity stream.
So the last one that I'm grabbing is the next Batman issue number 4. I feel like I am in a committed relationship with the next Batman. It's just, I've got to see it through. So I've read issues number 1 and 2, and again, you saw my chopping block video. I was like right on that fence. I was like, okay, this either needs to leave now, or I'm just gonna see it through to the end. Got to issue number 3, and issue number 3 was a little bit better. It gave me more of kind of a reason for some of the family drama. And then it also gave me a little bit more of the character and why he's motivated to do what he does. So it still was good, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, this is the best character ever. And by the time I finished it, I'm like, well, there's only 4 issues and I'm already 3 in. So let's finish it. Let's see how it goes. I don't know at this point whether I'm going to like finish with like a rallying cry of like, this was worth it, or if I'm going to finish it and go, why on earth did I do that? So like I said, it is a commitment to the next Batman. I must find out at this point. I'm way too close to the end.
It sounds like one that, I'm letting her read and finish and tell me if it was really worth me starting. Just so you know. So I've got one that it's not on my list, but because of what's coming up with the Netflix series and so forth, it's something that I might check out again. So the Masters of the Universe, it's Revelation number 1. It's prequel to the He-Man series that's coming out on Netflix. So the synopsis on it, it's got all your favorites. If you ever watched the cartoon as a kid, you've got Tila, you've got He-Man, you've got Skeletor.
Of course.
Not this time. And you've got Evil Lyn, right? Basically, I'm kind of curious about it because I'm curious about the series, but it was a cartoon, let me put it this way, that I watched when it came on right before, right after, or in the middle of other stuff that I was really wanting to see. I never was like, I must be there to see this every Saturday morning. And then, when I did watch it, I was like, oh, okay. I never really got hugely into it. But that being said, let's see what Netflix does with it. They've done some cool stuff. They've done some rotten stuff too, though. I'm sorry. Well, they've done stuff that the books were far better than.
Yes.
Let me put it that way. So, that's it for me.
All right. So, back to the questions, comments. So, really quick, you guys were incredibly encouraging about our name change. So, thank you all so much for being incredibly supportive. They loved the new intro. They thought your piano skills were exceptional.
Married with Comics better than changing brown coat to beige coat.
Yeah.
Just saying. Okay. Because beige coat was a second really close runner for a while. No. Well,
blue coats? I don't know.
No, beige.
Beige.
Because it's vanilla.
So the other thing was they loved your music. We did have to shorten the intro just a little bit, so at least you guys got to see kind of the full song, and now you get to see kind of the abbreviated version. A100 was awesome and created these little cool limerick lyric awesomeness, which awesome. So all I need now are new Married with Comics related lyrics for love and marriage, so that way we're not trademarking at all. Instead, it's the Married with Comics version of love and marriage. Love and marriage with comic books. There's your challenge, A100. Cinex Studios, you have opened a whole new can of worms. So I was telling Scott about this in the car the other day, because I'm like, the Comic-Con video was so much fun, and we're still going to do our Married with Comics Comic-Con video, and we're going to talk about, our experiences as a couple, bringing family members to Comic-Con. But I was like, Cinex Studios is over in Sweden, and he mentioned that he has yet to go to an international Swedish Comic-Con.
Yeah, he lives in Sweden, but he's not been to a con there.
Yeah. Which I'm like,
and they have a couple, from what he said, in Stockholm, right?
Yeah.
Good sized ones, I guess. But
sure.
Either way.
I'm like, I have never been to another country's Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That could end up being on the bucket list.
So we might start off in Canada, because it's a little closer, and once it opens. And Ken Lashley, huge Ken Lashley fan. Love to get him up there and see him. There's a small, tiny little chance we might run into Ryan Reynolds, which I'm sure wouldn't upset her at all.
Nope.
But either way, we definitely now have a new bucket list, is the way that Flora phrased it to me. I have a new bucket list item. I'm like, cool, we're going to a Ren Fair, aren't we? And she's like, no, we're going to Sweden. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, I'm down. I'm so down.
I have small items on my bucket list.
No.
Very small.
Yeah, well, not really.
So, Ronald asked the following question of us, which is, what superhero books do you get? Marvel, DC, or Silver Age? And the answer is yes.
Well, and I'm not sure I understand. So, like, Marvel and DC are two different publishers.
Yeah.
And Silver Age is an era.
Yes.
So, you're right. I mean, we get all, but we don't have very many Silver Age if you think about it, because we get more. Let me start by saying this. We probably have more modern age comics because of our lapse from comics and collecting and reading, and then we got back into it in the modern age. At one point, I had a lot of Silver Age that I inherited from my brother, and there might have even been some. Yeah, there might have been some golden era in there. I don't know, honestly, if there was any bronze. Bronze is kind of when she and I both were just not in the comic world so much. But we have gone through and made some recent collection acquirements that I don't think I have a lot of Silver Age in there either, though.
Typically for Silver Age, if we're going to get it, we get it in a trade. And it's only certain characters that will go back and grab
so
those.
We do own Silver Age era stories, but in modern trade paperback form because it's essential reading.
It's so hard to get.
You gotta read. Anyhow, okay.
So, yes. And then when it comes to superheroes, I mean, we read Marvel and DC. I'm a little biased. I do love DC a little bit more, even though I know I'm wearing the t-shirt.
She and I both are similar in that, though, because as much as we just both said, yes, we get them all, we probably have more DC on our shelves. Part of it for me is
Batman.
Well, a love of Batman, and then that universe. So Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Gotham City Sirens, Catwoman. So we've got multiple individual characters, where in Marvel, I mean, we have Daredevil, we have Spidey, we have Deadpool, we have X-Men.
Black Cat.
But we just started with Black Cat, and she's a smaller run, period.
True.
But,
so
yeah, you get the point.
There's a lot, definitely, that even like Scott's definitely into the Hulk. We were just talking about She-Hulk yesterday. So there's
Hulk sad.
There are a lot of characters in Marvel that we like, we haven't read as much of. And I think that's where my bias in DC comes in, because I know Batman and that Gotham kind of world universe so well.
Better, yeah.
So it's easier for me to kind of jump into those characters than it is to jump into
and the various spin-offs.
Any number of Marvel series.
But we love like the new Donny Cates Thor, so that really pulled her into the Thor more even than before. So yeah, the Marvel's got some stuff coming out too that I'm very curious about, and I love what they did with like Miles Morales, and so yeah. We're on board with both.
And Gwen Stacy, I love.
But
so
he had another part of the question, didn't he? Or
no, next question.
The next question.
Doug wanted to know if we mostly do pre-orders or do we decide at the shop. So it depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Because I do mostly pre-orders. Because typically I have a really strong idea kind of in advance. There will be a couple exceptions where I'll say A or B cover, I can't decide. Take a look at them and, choose in the shop. And there are some times where an item will be on my maybe list and I'll wait a week.
Well, and sometimes too, Dan is good about, he knows what we like. And if we come in and there's something new out that maybe wasn't on our radar at all, he'll be like, hey, since you like, check this out. And he'll give us a synopsis, and sometimes we go with it, and sometimes we don't. Yeah. I think what you're getting to too with me is that I spend probably more time in the shop. So I do have a pre-order, like I look at it every week, and that to me though is sometimes where I will get more of my, hey, I didn't know that this new run was coming, and I'll pre-order that because I already know I want that character, I want that writer, or whatever. But then I always spend more time in the shop when I go pick up, because I basically walk the aisle and look at artwork. Yeah. I look at limiteds that they may have in the shop that weren't necessarily, that I didn't pay attention to online, and I kind of go through just the visual aspect of it. So I picked up several books because of that, like where I literally have like issue 110. It's issue number 3 out of the 5 issue series, and I have none of the rest of it, but the artwork or that artist in particular, I wanted. And sometimes I'll go back and get other parts of it, previous. Yeah. Sometimes I don't. I just have that one issue because I wanted it. It's pretty. Me like it.
Kind of like the Aliens cover that we showed the other week, Ken Lashley.
Yeah. That's the only
That's the only Aliens cover we have.
It's the only Aliens book we have, period. Like, I don't have any of it.
Nope.
But love that cover. So there you go. Thank you, Ken.
So Robert wanted to know, what is the longest comic book run that we currently own?
I think that would be this one. This one right here. Part of it. So what's in here is a mostly complete. And
actually, it is complete. I checked.
We got the other two?
It's
I thought we were missing two.
No.
Even better. It's Daredevil.
It's the Michael Bendis run.
Yeah.
Complete.
Was it 400?
Yeah. I mean, it's a ridiculous number, but it's got the Daredevil run, and then it has some of the spin-off series in the end. I think it's Man Without Fear.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah.
Essentially, this is one of my all-time favorite characters. If you've watched any of our other videos, you've heard me talk about it before. I love the character. I like this, right? There are multiple people that will have multiple conversations about who's the best writer on that run and this run and which version of that deal. And there are so many good writers of this series, but this is by all means one of my all-time favorites. It came up and it was on a live show. And
Ultimate Comics.
She was like, wow, it's a shame we can't. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? And then I'm typing on my keyboard while she's watching on her phone and cooking or something in the kitchen. I think they were like, all right, Scott, good grab, man. And she's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So I was bad, but it was so good.
Well, I mean, like, I've talked before that Ultimate Comics did like a complete Spawn run that they had available. They did
huge.
A complete Sandman run, and they've done a complete Daredevil run. So
it's my first ever complete run that I bought. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
And we haven't bought another one yet since.
No. And we do technically... we do have other Daredevil series that we are still building. So
in short, by all means, this is the longest single issue run. It's probably if we just count the number of books, I have a feeling we've got the most Daredevil of anything.
Which is funny because it's not one that
Batman.
Because Batman, if you count all the multiple series, we maybe get close, but that one's a tough one. We have a lot of Daredevil. Second place,
I think, would be Batman.
Batman, definitely. The runs that I'm still working through, that, like, me personally, I'm amassing. I've already told you all I'm working on a Spawn run. I'm working on all Neil Gaiman titles. Catwoman. So I'm working on a Joelle Jones Catwoman run. That's taking me a while. I have a couple other miscellaneous runs that I started kind of piecing together, and I mostly grabbed them just to be able to read them, and then when I'm done, I'll probably flip them. So some of them may be of interest, some of them probably aren't.
I just did a quick check on our one of our sites we keep track of our inventory on, and we have 186 issues. Now that's single trade, doesn't matter, in our Batman collection.
Yeah.
We have 245 in Daredevil.
We have a couple.
But I think we're correct in that would be our second highest number. And you're still working on Neil Gaiman. That one will probably surpass or get equal to Batman at some point.
Well, because he has so many series. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I haven't even tried, like, Sandman. So these are Sandman universe runs, because Sandman is...
You see this face?
Huge.
She calls herself a Neil Gaiman fan. She hasn't.
No. Like, for Sandman, I have the hardcovers, because grabbing the individual issues can get incredibly pricey because the series is blown up.
Yeah.
So I've grabbed all the sub-series that have not blown up. But the problem is there are so many spin-off series within Sandman. Wow. So once I finish all the spin-off series, and then you throw in the American Gods, and then you throw in some of the older stuff, it's going to take me an incredibly long time, but I think it'd be really cool when it's done.
It will. It definitely will. And it'll be worth it in the end, ultimately.
So,
let us know what you think about any of these questions, too. Let us know your answers, by all means. Do you do pre-order? Do you
only read Marvel, DC?
Yep. Do you graze at the shop? What's your longest?
What is your longest run?
I'd be curious for those answers, especially. That'd be cool.
And also, I would like to know your feedback. Do you like the current format where we're just kind of giving you our highlights of what we're grabbing, as opposed to showing you, hey, this is what we grabbed? Is that better? Or we can also kind of just give you our...
We're in the early stages, so we're willing to tweak anything. Obviously, if you guys aren't enjoying it, and that's the reason we're doing it. So there's no way that we are really just doing this for ourselves, to see ourselves on camera. So let us know. Help us out with how you think it should go forward as far as what we do with these videos. And we got some cool stuff coming up, though. So some of our ideas that we're trying out, I think you really appreciate and like. I know you saw part 1 of the Comic-Con video. If you would like to see more about how to do that as a couple, stay tuned.
It's coming.
It's coming. And we also have some cool ideas of what we're going to be talking about in the future with some of our more in-depth videos. So,
and I also have been taking some of your questions that you put on the videos. Sometimes instead of answering them here, like Jelliet, I haven't answered your question on purpose, because we're going to do a separate video on that one.
There you go.
So
sometimes your comments, questions spawn off their own whole entire video. So let us know. Hit us with them. Let's go.
And this is Laura and Scott from Married with Comics. And we will see you all again very soon. Have a great day, everyone. I wanted to announce our first 500 subscriber giveaway. We're going to do 2 separate ones. The first one is for those who are subscribed to the channel and commenting on these videos. We are giving away a copy of not just Non-Stop Spider-Man issue number 1, this is the Ken Lashley variant cover, but this cover has been remarked and signed by the artist Ken Lashley. It's absolutely gorgeous. I know this probably is not doing it any justice. Let me just say it's even more beautiful in person. So, to qualify, subscribe, like, comment, share these videos. We are definitely trying to grow. This is our way of thanking you so much for helping us grow and giving us that amazing feedback so that way we can give you even better content in the future.